Hi everyone, let's talk about liposuction. So, what is liposuction? Liposuction is a surgical procedure through which a very small hole is made and the extra unwanted fat is suctioned out. So, as the name says, liposuction. Now, it's a procedure, as I mentioned, I do very often in my practice, and I think I'm one of the ones in Canada that do the most amount of liposuction and liposculpting. Who is a good candidate for liposuction? Because that's the real question. Many times people come in and they're asking about liposuction where what they need is a tummy tuck, abdominoplasty, and sometimes reverse. They come in for abdominoplasty, and going through an examination, we notice that a liposuction with some sort of skin tightening device can do the job. So who is a good candidate? Easy way is calculate your BMI. So if your BMI is less than 27, which is your weight divided by your height squared in meters, and you can do a nice calculation on Google, just type in BMI, type in your weight, type in your height, and you're gonna get your BMI. If it's less than 27, majority of times liposuction is a good procedure for you. Now, there's only one small trick in it. BMI gives you the amount of fat. It does not talk about your skin laxity. So then it becomes an examination of your skin. If you have excessive skin, too much laxity, much stretch mark, droopy skin, at that moment you need excessive skin removal. So just the liposuction, meaning deflating that skin, it's not going to solve the problem. Yes, the liposuction is going to give you much nicer contour. Yes, liposuction might potentially decrease your waistline. Yes, liposuction is going to remove the fat from your unwanted areas. But once you're actually going to take off that coat and you're left with that excessive skin, sometimes you're not very happy. So in those cases, we need some sort of excess skin removal. The skin excess removal can be anything with plastic, pretty much called skin removal. So if it's a breast, mammoplasty, we remove the excess skin. If it's an abdomen, of course, abdominoplasty. If it's the back lift. If it's a thigh-plasty or thigh lift, and so on and so forth. So if you're wondering, liposuction is a good procedure for you, calculate your BMI. If your BMI is 27 or less, usually lipo would do a good job. But again, if you have adequate quality skin. Now, many times you're borderline. You have better excessive skin, but not to the extent that you are willing or you're wishing to undergo a bigger scar for removal of excessive skin. In those cases, sometimes we can use technologies. So the question is, what technology is the best? The technology I use in my office, which I'm very proud to have, and one of the few ones in Quebec, is Vaser and J-Plasma. Vaser is an ultrasound-assisted, but through a small probe, you're going inside to dissolve all the fat. So the fat is dissolved using ultrasound. What's going to be left over is the septation between the fat cells. Keeping those septations using a device called J-Plasma Renuvion, which is a radiofrequency assisted skin tightening device, I'm able to tighten the skin much more. So not only that we keep the septations, not only the damage to the vasculature and blood loss is much less because of Vaser. Using a J-Plasma with Vaser causes a lot of tightening. Now, if I use only J-Plasma without Vaser, the skin tightening is slightly less. Why is it less? Because we don't have a lot of septations. Those septations are the one that sticks the skin to the underlying fascia, contracts the skin. So in order to preserve them, I use Vaser, and on top of it, we use the J-Plasma to tighten. Now let's talk about sculpting, because this is something that I think I'm actually the only one pretty much in Quebec that do a lot of this sculpting, high definition, the six-pack. So the two main procedures that I offer to my patients, very proud to be, one is Hermes, which I do for a lot of my women, female patients, which is really a sculpting, giving them the etching, 3 different grades. We can go through it during a consultation, depending on what you desire. Sometimes we only make the vertical lines. In a stage 2, I start making with a six-pack. In stage 3, even give you some definition in the serratus and even lat dorsi in the back. In men, it's a bit more sculpted, of course, as you can imagine, because men by nature, we're more muscular. So we put more of a definition, more of an emphasis on making those muscles. And we call that I forgot the name. And I call that the Zeus procedure. So the Greek god. Meaning we're going to make that six-pack, but on top of it also, we're going to make more serratus. We're going to even make more definition in the lower abdomen. We're going to show the external obliques. We're going to show the lat dorsi. Swelling, of course, is present after the procedure, but in long term, 6 months, a year, you're going to have that amazing transformation. And again, it goes through different, of course, staging or grading depending on how much of a definition you want. And this is a very good question. So the next question is, how much definition is ideal for you? This is a very personal question. Many times we go through the consultation back and forth to decide how much definition we're going to do. Why is that? Because if you're somebody who is always a bit overweight and you're desiring to have the Zeus procedure with a lot of definition, there's one issue. If you gain a lot of weight and you're not able to maintain your weight, sometimes the definition could look a bit fake. Now, if somebody's fit, always paying attention to the diet, always maintaining that nice weight at BMI of 27 or less, then most likely that's a good procedure because you're not going to go through that weight gain that is going to look very abnormal. Same thing holds true for women. Now we're seeing more trend towards having more of an athletic look, more of a defined look. And that is something we can do using liposuction. So if you're going to the gym, you're trying to work out, you're going on a diet, and yet you're not able to shed off that extra weight, or you're not able to get that nice definition, we can do that using liposuction. Simple procedure, less than a couple hours. You come in, get that nice snatched body. It comes with a bit of recovery, some risk associated with what you talk about, but it's doable, easy, especially if you're able to keep your weight stable. Last topic to talk about is that skin tightening we talked about, because if you are getting all that fat out, you want to get the best result in the shortest amount of time, and this is where I offer the Vaser J Plasma. So 2 devices combined together, very strong and powerful to tighten the skin, to give you that nice definition, to really try to make that itching or even the six-pack, which is going to be very long lasting, because using those devices we can go very close to the skin, not have irregularities, smooth liposuction, and tighten the skin and stick skin in specific areas to have a long lasting result for those etching.